there, Sarah Dean with Fit Healthy Moms. I'm going to show you 4 different exercises you can do today when you have diastasis recti. So make sure you look at my other video on how to test for diastasis recti and how to know if you have that split down the middle after you've had a baby. Most women do have a separation of the abdominal wall after they have a baby, and you want to know how wide yours is to know what kind of ab exercises you can do and what kind of exercise in general you can do to heal that, because if you don't heal that, you will have that belly pooching out for many, many years to come, which we don't want. So I'm going to go over 4 exercises. In each of these exercises, you want to make sure that at all times you're pulling in, you're never pushing out. So the reason we avoid a bunch of exercises postpartum, a bunch of ab exercises, is because we don't want to be pushing out. You don't want to push that abdominal wall out and re-stretch it any further than it already is. Over time, it's going to start to heal and come back together, and you want to assist that healing process and speed up that healing process rather than doing anything that will push it out. So sit-ups, for example, are most likely going to make you push that wall back out, and you'll be able to feel if you put your hands down there as you're doing abdominal exercises, you'll be able to feel if that belly's pulling in or if it's pushing back out as you go into different exercises. So I'm going to show you in these 4 exercises how you can tell which it's doing. So at any time if you feel pushing out, that means that exercise is too challenging for you and you want to back off and skip it until you're a little bit more ready to do it in order to pull those abs in and flatten that belly. So exercise number 1, we're going to be on our hands and knees on the floor here. This is called a 4-point draw in. So on your hands and knees, that's your 4 points. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and then 4 points here. So on my hands and knees, you're going to let your belly button just hang down. So let it hang. You can hold under there if you want to with one hand, and then you're going to exhale and pull it up and pull as deep as you can. So you're pulling, 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 and you're going to hold it right there. At the same time, if you can do a Kegel, all the better. So pull that pelvic floor up, pull the abdominal wall up, and hold as deep as you can. You want to hold for about 10 seconds here. You can see that while I'm holding this, I'm talking, I'm breathing, so I'm not pulling up through my whole lung and upper body. I'm just pulling through that low belly area. So right here, I'm pulling. And then I'm going to let it relax. I'm going to let it relax for a second, and then I'll pull back up again for 10 more seconds. So I'm going in and out, the relaxed phase and then the contracted phase, keeping it really tight on the contracted phase. Second exercise, you're going to come onto your back. Onto your back. As you come on your back, you want to kind of come on your side here so that your abs are staying tight as you go to the floor. And then all the way on your back, we're going to go into pelvic tilts. So from here, I have my heels and my knees up, heels down, and I'm going to lift my hips up without squeezing my butt. So I'm using my abdominal wall right here. I'm going to put my hands here. I'm going to lift my hips up, just rolling slightly, not squeezing the butt at all, pulling, pulling, pulling with the belly button, and then roll back down. And then here I come, and I'm pulling, 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 pulling with my abdominal wall, and roll back down. My dog is right here behind my head watching me, and she likes to do pelvic floor or abdominal exercises too. So we're pulling, pulling, pulling through my core, and then relax back down. So every time I roll my hips here, it's like my pelvis is a bowl of water. I'm pouring that water out the back of the bowl, pulling my abs tight, not squeezing through my butt. My butt's relaxed, it's jiggling, and then I relax my abs back down. One more time, contract the abs. So you can do sets of 10 to 12 or 10 to 15 of these. And then from there, I'm going to go into heel slides. This one is great without shoes on a hardwood floor because you get a nice slippery surface. So right here, we're going to extend heel out, nice and slow. I'm pulling right through here. This one I have moms say, it feels like I'm pulling in my fallopian tubes. That means you're doing it right. So then you're going to exhale and pull, 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 pull through that right side. And then back down, nice and slow. And as I pull in here, pull, 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 pull through the lower right, this lower abdominal area. And back down, and pulling in as deep as I can. Then I would do the other side. So slow and controlled, pulling through the core, in and out here. And you can work up sets of 10 to 15 of these as well on each side. The next exercise, I'm going to bring one knee up, and I have about 90 degrees at the knee. And same idea as the last exercise. I'm going to pull with my abs, and I'm going to bring this heel down to the floor, pulling through my core as I bring it down, and then back up. And then pulling down with my abs, and then back up. Now this one, I can go eventually to a straight leg here, pulling, pulling, pulling through my core, and then back up to a leg lift on one side. And then pulling, pulling, pulling. So you can do kind of variations. Start with the bent knee, and then you can go to the straight leg. If you go to the straight leg, and as soon as you start to do it, you feel your belly pushing or your low back arching, then you're not ready for that one. So you only want to do that when you can pull the abs to the floor, push the low back into the floor. So to get up off the floor, roll to your side, push yourself up. That way you're not engaging those abdominal muscles. If I come up like this and I have a diastasis, if I come up here, as soon as I start to come up, my belly pushes out, and now I've stretched that abdominal wall, which is the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. So remember, everything you're doing, you're pulling in, you're not pushing out. We want to get rid of the pooch, not encourage the pooch. So if you have any questions on that, let us know at Fit Healthy Moms. We'd be happy to help you out, and we will see you soon.